we are going to be talking about pricing when cutting for business or crafting for business, whatever it is that your craft is, whether it's baking, whether it's doing all the crafty stuff that I like to do, whether it's doing hair or whatever. Some of these formulas can be used for an array of things, okay? So pricing, I see this in almost every Facebook group that I'm in as far as crafting goes. What should I price this at? How should I sell this? What would you sell this for? Or I get in my inbox, can you tell me how much you would charge for this? Or what should I charge for this? So on and so forth. A lot of the times people make pricing very complicated, and it really doesn't have to be. So I don't want to boggle you with a bunch of tips. I want to give you 3 main things to think about or to consider when you are pricing, okay? Or to go with your pricing, should I say. Number 1, secure a quality wholesaler. That is going to be the most important thing for you for actually pricing. Securing that quality wholesaler will mean everything for your business. Everything, because you are able to keep your prices competitive and comparable to those that are around you, which leads us to tip number 2. Price for your geographical area or consumer base. Okay, so if you are in an area where you know that a certain item only sells for $10 and you're in your crafting group or you're on your forums and you see people are selling for $20 to $40, unless you're going to get online and sell that item, you can't sell that item in your geographical area for a higher price unless you do something else to it to make it different. Okay, but for the same exact item that everybody's selling for $10, you're not going to get 20, 30, or 44. Okay. Also with the audience, so if you know you're selling to teenagers or college students or the elderly, you know, or somebody that's geographic of people that are on a fixed income or, you know, don't have a lot of money, you have to price to sell to them as well if that is going to be your consumer base. So number 2 is to price for your geographical area and your consumer base. Who are you making this product to sell to? Who do you want to buy this product? Okay. Number 3, which is probably the most important thing, and I should have actually made it number 1, to be honest with you, because as crafters, people that make things by hand, a lot of us make them from the heart. We make them with love, and a lot of crafters did not start off, real crafters, true to the heart, passionate crafters, did not start off crafting for business. They did it because it was something that they loved, they were passionate about, it was a stress reliever for them or whatever, but they started out with it being right here in their heart, with them having a passion for it. And so a lot of the times when we price things as crafters, we sell ourselves short. So number 3 is going to be to know your worth and to know the worth of your product. Okay, know that your work is quality. Okay, and you should be paid accordingly for that quality. And we're going to see how you factor that in one of the different types of pricing tools that we're going to utilize today. Okay, so there are 2 different ways that I particularly do my pricing. I did some research in order to make this video, just to make sure that I was giving you guys the right or good information, should I say. And a lot of the research I found that there is a formula that is used, and I kind of use this formula as well, but I didn't know it was as widely used as it is with looking at different blogs and articles and things like that. I think I might have seen it or read it somewhere, either YouTube or in one of those blogs or articles, about how to come up with a formula for pricing. And then there is just having a standard base price. Okay, and so we're going to go over both of those things. We're going to go over the formula. I want you to know, before we even get started on the formula, that this formula is not to be set in stone. The numbers that you come up with this formula, you're going to be like, what? That's outrageous. But we're not really going to be charging the bottom line of this formula, but it's the model that businesses use, and that's why it costs $5 to make a pair of Jordans and they sell them to us for $250 because they're using this formula for pricing. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to jump right into the formula for pricing. All right, so we're getting ready to go over the formula for pricing. Okay, this is a popular formula that is used with businesses. You have costs plus your labor plus 10, and sometimes it's even 15% overhead. And then you're going to take the total that you get from that and multiply it by 2. And that would give you your wholesale price. And then to get your resale price, you're going to take this number and multiply it by 2, giving you your retail price. Okay? So first, let's break this down. Cost. What does that mean? Cost. What is that? So the cost would be the cost of your materials. So your materials like your HTV, if you're doing t-shirts, your paper, if you're doing paper crafting, you can go down to sticks if you're doing cupcake toppers, okay? Whatever materials it is that you are buying, and you want to include all of those things within the cost to actually make the item, so that you know that you're actually pricing the item to come up with a profit. The point of cutting for business is to do it for a profit. If you're not making a profit, keep it a hobby, okay? Now, the labor, okay? Now, this is the part here that can get a little tricky. So for the labor, this would be what you are charging for your hourly rate for yourself. What are you paying yourself for an hour's worth of work? And then what you would do is you would prorate that cost. So say I personally pay myself $20 an hour, okay? Because I feel like that's what my work is worth. So if I did a project that only took me 30 minutes, then I would factor in $10 for my labor, okay? So I'm going to pay myself $20 an hour. Your overhead would then be whatever 10% of these two costs together would equal, okay? So let's figure it out. Let's say that I'm making a coaster set, and that coaster set is going to cost me $5 to make, okay? So when I come down here to the bottom, I'm going to take my $5, which is my cost, plus my $20, which is what I'm going to pay myself an hour. That's going to give me $25, okay? Now, I need to figure out what 10% of that 25 is. That's going to bring me to $2.50, which will give me $27.50, okay? Now, right there at the $27.50, that's not a bad profit margin at all. But this doesn't necessarily have to be your actual price. As you see, there is more to the equation, okay? Now, according to this formula, to get my wholesale price, I would have to multiply $27.50 times 2. Okay, $27.50 times 2, that's going to give me $55. And then that's just my wholesale price, okay? And so by wholesale, what I mean is that if somebody was to buy 10 or more, I would sell them to them for $55 using this formula, okay? My retail price, if somebody just wants to buy one of them, according to the formula, would be $110, because 55 times 2 is $110, okay? Now, that seems like a lot of money to make off of a $5 item, right? Number 2, within our tip list, is the price for your geographical area or your consumer base. Now, if you feel like within your geographical area, you can sell, say I was making a set of coasters or a t-shirts for $110, by all means, get your money, boo, boo, okay? But with this model, when I use this model for pricing, I generally go in between the answer to this equation, which is $27.50, and what I got from my wholesale. So I would price this item between $27.50 and $55. Okay. Now, already at $27.50, like I said, we've made a very good profit. We've made $22.50 just at this price. But say in my area for a t-shirt, they're generally going for $30 to $45. Well, with this formula, I'm still within that range, right? So if they're going for $30 to $40 in my area, I already have $22.50 of profit. If somebody's selling one for $40, I can sell one for $35, and I'm still making a generous profit. That's what I mean by pricing for your geographical area or your consumer base, okay? That is one thing that is not factored into this formula. So please, please, please don't always go for this number, because you may not be able to sell it for that price. There may not be a high enough supply and demand for you to be able to get $110 for one t-shirt. That may not happen. Or $110 for a coaster set. So this formula, again, does not factor those things into play. So when you're pricing and you use this formula, those are the things that you need to factor into play. Most of the time, when I use this formula, I stick with this number here, which is, you know, the sum of this added up, my cost, which was $5, plus my labor, which was $20, plus 10% of what this equals, which is $25, which will be $2.50, which again would get me $27.50. Okay? And if you want it, you can even round that up to 30 if that's going to keep your price competitive and comparable to those within your area. If I know I can get the same quality product from Susan for $25, why would I buy yours for $30 if they're going to be the same quality? So that's why you have to, again, price for your geographical area and your consumer base. Getting that wholesaler, that number one tip was to get a quality wholesaler, will ensure that you are able to keep your prices low enough to make a profit and to also be competitive or comparable to other businesses within your area, okay? So that you can keep your revenue coming in. So again, I know this looks a little messy, but the main thing that you want to focus on for this formula is your cost plus your labor plus the overhead. I generally only charge 10% for my overhead. And what I count in as my overhead would be like my ink, you know, or scratch paper I have to use to do a design or something like that. Just little things, the wear and tear on the actual machine itself. I've had to replace the blade on one of my Cricut machines already just from the wear and tear of it. And so adding that overhead into your pricing will ensure that you're able to do maintenance within your business, because you do have to invest into yourself, okay? You have to invest into your business. You have to spend money to make money sometimes, okay? And so that is this formula. If you have any questions about this formula, you can drop it in the comments, or follow me on Instagram at Guccicraftz on Instagram, and you can send me a message there, and I will help you with the formula. But number 3, don't shortchange yourself, okay? Like I said, I give myself $20 an hour, okay? In your area, giving yourself $20 an hour may not get you a competitive or a comparable price, which means you'd have to drop that down. You know, maybe start by dropping it down from 5 from there. But I think that with all the work you do, all the passion, all the love that you put into products that you're making, you should be giving yourself at least $20 an hour. Okay? And so that's what I pay myself. Okay? Now, another way that we can price is to do standard pricing, okay? And I'm going to leave this equation up here at the top. I'll rewrite that overhead just so you guys have time to write down the formula. Okay, and this was overhead. And again, that's for maintenance on your business, okay? Your machine will require some maintenance here and there if you use it a lot. So the other way to do pricing is to do base pricing. Okay? And so it's like, okay, Gucci, what do you mean by that? So with base pricing, I say, for instance, when I price my t-shirts, okay? I have a base price for my t-shirts. I do not use the formula. I do the base price because within my geographical area, t-shirts sell for a pretty good amount, okay? And so with me, for my base pricing for a small t-shirt, they will start at $20. Okay, and that's for a small adult t-shirt. Starts at $20. Now, why am I saying it starts at $20? Because remember, this is a base price. You know how they do an advertisement? You can get a room starting at $79.99. You need to look at the keyword, starting at. Okay, so my t-shirts start at $20 for a small t-shirt, and I go up $5 per size. So medium would be $25, the large would be $30, extra large $35, and then when I get down to the 2X or 1X, it's going to be $40. And for 2X pricing, I asked them to give me a call depending on the design. That's going to depend on what I charge for the 2X pricing. But these are my base prices for my t-shirts, okay? Now, say the person, this base price is going to be for a design just on the front of the shirt, something very simple, maybe a name or a picture, okay? Something very simple. Now, if they want to get intricate and add a name and a picture, so I say if I want to do a print and cut, if I'm using my Cricut or I'm using my Silhouette machine, for a picture, I would add $5, okay? So that's $5 for picture, okay? Say they want the word to be in glitter. I have $5 for glitter. Okay. Say they want the shirt to be front and back. Okay. Depending on the size of the shirt, I charge another $5 to do something on the back of the shirt. Okay. But I always have this base price to go off of. And with these add-ons, that can depend on what it's going to cost you. Now, if you have an order, say, and you have to run out to Michael's to buy the glitter vinyl, okay? That glitter vinyl at Michael's is going to cost you a lot more money than the glitter vinyl would cost you if you bought it online, say, okay? And so in that case, you can go up from your base price. You can charge whatever you want as an add-on, okay? But I try to keep my add-on prices the same on my little pricing cards, and I always give the customers a starting point. This is what the shirt is going to start at. Depending on the design, it can go up from there, okay? And you can do base pricing like that for tote bags, for custom coasters or custom trays. Charge differently if they want the tray painted or they don't want it painted. If they want glitter or they don't want glitter. Always start with a base price, and then you can add on from there unless you want to use the formula. So those are the two different ways that I do my pricing, okay? Again, pricing does not have to be complicated. It can be very, very simple. This formula can actually help you get a base price, okay? Another thing that you can do to find comparable pricing within your geographical area and within your consumer base, Facebook Market is a great place to do your comparable pricing because you can actually search your particular geographical area for different things. And so say if you wanted to go in and do glasses or mugs or something like that, you can search mugs in the Facebook Market and see what comes up. See if there are people that are offering custom mugs within your area and see what they're actually pricing them at, and see if maybe you can meet that price or beat that price. price, depending on whether or not you have a really good wholesaler. That is going to be the major thing with you and pricing your items, is how much you're actually getting your blanks for. So ladies and gentlemen, I do not want you to shortchange yourself. I don't want you to go in these groups or to go ask people, what would you charge for this? How much would you charge for this? You need to first, if you're not going to use base pricing, you need to first figure out what an item is going to cost you, okay? And even when I came up with my base prices for my t-shirts, because again, I use both of these methods just depending on what it is that I make. So I know how much I can get these t-shirts for. Okay, and so I know how much a t-shirt blank is going to cost me. I know that I have a stock of vinyl, okay? And if I don't have the color, guess what? I can then do an add-on, okay? Because I said that my shirts start at $20, not that they cost $20, that they start at $20. Also, another thing that I see a lot is, okay, like today, for instance, I seen a post where a young lady said, how much would you charge to do 15 bonnets if the person is giving you the bonnet and the vinyl? Okay, person's giving me the bonnet and the vinyl. So what does that eliminate? That eliminates my costs, right? So I don't have the cost for the blank. That's where you pull your labor in. That's why you need a price for your labor, okay? For how much you're going to pay yourself an hour. You want to keep that price generally the same, okay? So if she's going to do 15 bonnets and I know I'm going to charge myself $20 an hour, I'm going to pay myself $20 an hour, what I ask the young lady in the comments is, how long do you think it's going to take you to cut the vinyl that the young lady's going to bring you, and to weed the vinyl that she's going to bring you, and then to actually apply the vinyl to the bonnet? She said 2 hours. So if she pays herself $20 an hour, that's going to give her $40 for those 2 hours. Plus, we're going to do the 10%, and that would get her $44, right? And just for the sake of it, she could round it up to $45. So she's just made $45 for 2 hours of work. Simple. Pricing does not have to be hard, okay? Again, don't shortchange yourself. Now, that $45 is a good profit margin for her because she didn't have to spend anything on materials. All she's doing is paying herself for the actual labor. So she didn't have to invest any money into the project. All the money is coming to her. And with 15 bonnets at this $45 mark, that customer is going to pay $3 a bonnet to have those bonnets done. That's not bad. That's a competitive and a comparable rate, because I've seen people charge up to $25 just for the bonnet itself. Okay, so those are things that you want to factor in when you're doing your pricing. Again, you keep it simple, okay? Stick to those 3 tips that I taught you guys. Number one, secure a quality wholesaler. You need a quality wholesaler to keep your prices comparable or competitive, okay? Number 2, please price for your geographical area and or your consumer base. When you make this item, know, who am I making this item for? Okay. Another tip on that is it's also good to have what we call bread and butter items. Okay. For me, my bread and butter items are labels. I have a rapport with a couple of businesses. They only come to me to get their labels done. And so I know eventually, if their business stays popping, that they're going to run out of those labels. And that's going to be my bread and butter money. That money's going to keep coming back. And I have them at their prices. Okay. Number 3. Do not shortchange yourself. I cannot say that enough. In the crafting business, we do that a lot, again, because real crafters, ground root crafters, started crafting not for business, but because it was something that we loved to do and we were passionate about it. And when you say, you know, oh, well, I'm gonna just charge them this or charge them that because I'm making it. No, who do you think makes the stuff for the things that people sell in the store? Somebody is making that, whether they're using the machine or not. Somebody is making it, okay? And they're charging an arm and a leg for it. As you can see with that formula, we ended up with a $5 cost, and for retail, it would have been $110. So that makes you think about things that you're buying as a consumer as well. How much did it actually cost them to make these red bottom shoes I'm about to pay $300 for? According to that formula, probably about $20, $25 to make, boo-boo. Okay. Remember that with the formulas, okay, you guys? The next thing that we're going to get into, because you know I always got to do something on the laptop. I got to get into Design Space and show you guys how to do something for you Cricut users. Or even you can even do these on Microsoft Word and cut them by hand if you want, crafting for business. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go over to the laptop and we're going to make a little pricing sheet. Again, that's good for you to stick into customers' bags or boxes with however it is you're boxing up your merchandise. Also, it's good to stick on your vending tables if you're going out and you're doing vending events. So let's go over to the laptop. All right, so here we are within our design space, and what I want to teach you how to make is this simple t-shirt shaped pricing list. Again, that can go on your vending table if you're doing a vending event or inside of your boxed or bagged products, okay? And I just use this example for the t-shirt because we were just talking about t-shirts when we went over our formula and our base pricing, okay? So what I did to get this actual t-shirt is I went over to Google or Yahoo and I searched t-shirt PNG. And it gave me this image, right? And so what I did is I saved that image onto my computer, and then I uploaded it into Design Space. And so there is the image right there, uploaded. I'm gonna click on that image, and I'm going to go to Insert Image. Okay, so there's my t-shirt. I'm gonna keep it as a, keep it as a no fill, but I'm going to change it to white because I want it to look just like this one. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I want to go in, my logo is uploaded into Design Space within the picture. So I'm going to go here to upload. Or actually what I can do is I can go to images. And see how it shows me uploaded? I'm going to type in PS. Maybe it's PS logo, maybe. I know it's saved under something weird. No, Google Clear Filters. I'm going to go back here to my uploaded, view all. And it's way down there, so I'm going to go down and get it. That's why it's important to remember which you save your items under so that you don't have to do what I'm doing. True testament to the fact that I am not perfect, honey. It's in here somewhere, though, promise. Somewhere over the rainbow lies my logo. I think it's coming up soon. There it is. I'm gonna click on that, I'm gonna insert it, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and make that smaller to fit the t-shirt. And I want it to be right there, just like that one. I'm going to highlight it, I'm gonna align, okay? And I centered it so that it's gonna be in the center of the t-shirt. I'm gonna go ahead and group that so that it doesn't move. Now I'm going to go ahead and get my verbiage onto the t-shirt itself. So I'm going to go to text. It's already on the Arab font that I want. So I'm going to type in price list. Okay. I'm going to change the color of that to red. And I'm going to size it to fit the shirt. Okay. I'm going to highlight it, and then I'm going to center it. And I'm going to go ahead and group it. Okay. Now it's time for me to make my other verbiage here. So I'm going to go to text, and I'm going to do that as one big text. Okay. So small, 20, medium, 25, large is going to be 30. XL will give us 40. 1XL. Excuse me, XL is going to give us 35. Sorry. And then this will give us 40. And then we're going to say 2XL and up. X for pricing. Okay. Well, that's what I wanted to say. That's highlighted. I'm going to align and center it so that it'll come down the center of my shirt. It just looks better that way. And I'm going to go down and I'm going to bring this up to size it to my shirt. My design space is being weird right now. I'm going to unlock it just so I can get it sized the way that I want it to be. Leaving room for my verbiage that's going to go at the bottom. Okay. I'm going to highlight that and I'm going to center it. Now, what's very important is that when you're doing all this centering is that each piece that you put on there has to be grouped separately so that when you center, it doesn't move, okay? Remember, I grouped the logo to the shirt by itself. I grouped the price list verbiage to the shirt by itself, and now I'm going to group the actual prices to the shirt by itself, okay? Then my last little verbiage down here, it's just basically a disclaimer letting people know all prices listed are base prices and subject to change due to design, okay? And that's just so that you don't get any hoopla if you have to actually go up on your price for those add-ons. Remember, it's $5 glitter, $5 picture, so on and so forth. Whatever you want your add-ons to be or whatever it is extra that you may end up charging due to the person's design, okay? And so I like to let that be known. And that's why I have it in red at the bottom so that it stands out. So that you change due to design. And you can put any verbiage there you want, okay? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go after this and I'm going to go like that. Then I'm going to go to align and I'm going to center it, okay? Just so it lines up pretty good. I'm going to make this a little smaller, my canvas itself, so I have more room to work. I'm going to change this one to red. And you see how it looks like red and it looks kind of like it's embossed almost, and that's because we have it on cut right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and center, okay? Now I have everything centered. Looks just like a shirt, huh? Super cute. And I'm gonna go ahead and flatten it. Now you see that my true colors will come out, okay? And that is exactly how it's going to cut out. It's going to look like a cute little shirt. You can make this up to a 9.25 by a 6.75 if you wanted a really big sign to go on your table, which is pretty cool. You know, you can either hot glue it to the back of a stick or something like that to prop it up on the table. You can have it hanging from your canopy if you're outside. There's several different things you can do with it to make it pop, make it stand out. You know, add any colors that you want. You can add any other pictures that you want on the side. But I just kept this one simple for the sake of the video itself, okay? And so this is what our price list would look like. We cut it out like a t-shirt. I'm going to come back on camera and I'm going to show you guys the beautiful work that the Cricut did on this piece. And we'll go ahead and end out our video,
Look
okay?
at this, you guys. Is this not so cute? 3x3. I made 4 of these with the Design Space app. Okay. 3x3 sizes will print you 4. or will get you for, cut you for, whatever you want to call it. You can make these as big as 9.2 by 6.75. As big, excuse me, 9.25 by 6.75. That's a pretty good size to sit on your vending table if you wanted to use it. You know, if you put it in a picture frame or hang it or whatever. But they come out really great. It's shaped like a t-shirt. It's something different. It'll set you aside from other businesses just with this cute little price list, and it's a good way to advertise. On this, I did not add how to order because usually I would put my card inside a bag, but you can add anything that you want that will fit within this t-shirt and make it, like I said, as big as 9.25 by 6.75. Okay, so this is a good little thing to make for your business. It'll also keep you in check too, because you know you can take a picture of this and put it in your phone, and then you'll always know what your base prices are until you can get them down in your head. Remember our two different formulas. We have the cost plus labor plus 10% with the overhead. Okay, remember not to cheat yourself. Pay yourself accordingly by the hour. And then also we have our base price method. And again, remember those 3 tips. Find the wholesaler. Find a quality wholesaler. Price for your geographical area and your consumer base. And 3, do not cheat yourself. I cannot say that enough within this video on pricing. Do not cheat yourself for the quality work that you put out. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, subscribe. Hit that little red button with the white writing and subscribe so you will know when my next video comes out. I do uploads every Wednesday and Friday. They drop at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's my Cali time. Okay, we're 3 hours behind New York, and I think we're 2 hours behind Mountain Time. So it drops 3 o'clock Cali time, so you got to figure out what time that is for you. But if you subscribe and you turn on those notifications, you don't even got to figure it out. It's just going to give you a little message like, bing, Gucci dropped the video. And you can go watch it, okay? So again, hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, share, do what you got to do. But meet me back here on Wednesday, 3 p.m. for my next video upload. Thank you. Love you guys. Mwah, 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 mwah.